Hey guys, it's your girl Ayesha and today I'm going to be giving you my 7 top tips when it comes to making bezels. So sit tight because you're going to be able to make something real cute by the end of this video. Most of the items that I'm going to be using today are from the October Sophie and Toffee Elves box, so you should be quite familiar with the things I'm showing you right now on the screen. This copper pigment, however, this actually came in, I think it was the August box. It was a Harry Potter box, but it's such a gorgeous colour, so it's definitely going to get used today. So tip number 1, get yourself a roll of bezel tape. This thing saves my life. It means that I have no leakages, no spillages, everything stays nice and flush. It's absolutely perfect. You need it in your life. Tip number 2, when you are adding in your pigment, whether that's the mica powder, eyeshadow, acrylic pigment, liquid pigment, whatever, you need to be doing it on a micro scale, like literally like the tiniest amounts of dust or the tiniest drop at a time. And that's for a couple of reasons. 1, if you put in too much, then it's just not going to cure properly. And 2, also, you might get too heavy a color, and then it's very, very hard for you to try and dilute that color. So it's much better for you to start off really, really small and then gently build up from there. Tip number 3, slow it down. Now, I intentionally left this shot here at my natural pace because I just want you guys to see that I don't do everything at sonic speed. I know that I speed up my videos, but best believe I'm applying my resin very, very slowly. And this is something that I've had to learn the hard way, because the faster that you do this stuff, the more air bubbles that you're going to be creating, and we all hate air bubbles, okay? Some of them are just unavoidable, but trust me, you can really minimize it if you do your work slowly. And the same thing goes for whenever you're mixing your resin as well. If you're mixing up AB resin, or even if you're mixing up your pigments, you need to make sure that you're doing it at a nice, slow, steady pace so that you're minimizing the amount of air bubbles that you're going to be getting in there. Tip number 5, silicone tools or anything that is small and pointy that you can find in your house. Okay, so basically what I've found is using tools that's got a pointed end. It's really, really handy for just dropping in teeny tiny bits of resin. Please, please, please do not go pouring in the resin straight from the cup onto your bezel because it will overflow. And honey, you just don't need that in your life, okay? So take your time, grab yourself a silicone tool or a dotting tool. I've even used a hair grip, okay? When times are hard, I use the hair grip. So whatever you can find, as long as it does the job. Tip number 6, embellishments. Okay, so I usually do this when I'm in the doming phase of the bezel. Now, doming is basically just putting on a clear layer of UV resin on the top to kind of give it that sort of domed effect. And I find that when I am in the final stages, this is the best time for me to add in my embellishments. And they really do enhance your piece. I mean, the dragon is cute without eyes, but it looks a lot better with eyes, right? Tip number 7 is actually something I've been doing throughout this whole process, but I've not actually mentioned it to you yet, and it's flash curing. Now, this is when you basically take your small UV light and you just sort of give a very quick cure as you go along. This is a really great way of making sure that your resin doesn't run into each other, especially if you're using more than 2 colors, because that can get really, really frustrating. So just a quick 5-second cure is all that you need. Of course, afterwards you need to give it a proper cure, but for flash curing, just a few seconds. Little bonus tip here for you when using your mica powder. It does come with a makeup applicator brush, and this is actually a really, really good way to apply this powder, but just make sure that you're really getting into every little nook and cranny, especially if you're going to be using a mold that has lots of tiny little intricate details like these dragon scales right here. If you want to do an ombre, then you want to just sort of layer the second color just over the top color, and just give it a really nice sort of smudge in the middle to create a nice gradient effect. Once you've popped on your clear resin and pop it out, it should look like this. This is absolutely gorgeous. I actually didn't decide to gloss these because I wanted them to look a bit more realistic. Dragon scales tend not to be very glossy, so I thought that I would keep this more sort of like duller, more kind of rougher look to it. But I really do love how this turned out, and this would actually make a really, really nice bracelet. But for today, we have gone for a bag charm because you know I love me some bag charms. If you found this video helpful, then share it with a friend and don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any more. And right here, there are some more resin tutorials for you. Take care, my darlings, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.